Hey everyone! In today's Let's Be Frank, we're finally setting sail for Valheim. While my channel has a lot of Valheim content already, I've covered a lot of different tutorials and concepts. I've really yet to put this one under the microscope to talk about what sets it apart as a whole, and I've yet to take the opportunity to really assess it objectively. If this video sounds any different from others, chalk it up to more rigorous research. Unlike a traditional playthrough, I really put this one through the ringer to test out the different systems. Let me get this out of the way. This game was amazing for me personally. Originally, when I was drawn in, I was completely blind to it, and it took a little while to grow on me. Once it did though, I really couldn't pull myself away. When I decided to finally put together some tutorials and I found myself in the wikis and the community surrounding the game, I found it certainly as a very relative experience as far as what a player really grows to love about this game. The overall concept is that you've died. You are a Viking warrior, and the world of Valheim is going to be your new home for now. You're guided only by this spectral raven, and your survival here is a test from the gods. You're supposed to find, summon, and ultimately kill a bunch of deities to fulfill your destiny. Like many other survival crafting games, you start with only the most rudimentary of gear, bare knuckles and tattered rags. And just like in Minecraft, we're going to need to get right to work. Unlocking new recipes is actually tied directly to coming across new materials. Everything is meant to be reachable through sheer exploration and crafting. There's a variety of different biomes, each has its own unique enemy types, and in each biome is a major boss that needs to be defeated. As you can imagine, there's a tiered order to how relatively difficult each of these biomes are, and there's an ideal order to defeating each of those bosses, and finding the new items, but there's really no hard requirements. That's part of the fun and the fear. And one of the biggest challenges is you're really not going to get a lot of direction. It's completely up to you to decide where to go and how far. The world is procedurally generated, and the obstacles you'll face are unique to your experience as well. Whether you choose to take on this challenge alone or with some friends, exploration is a very core concept here, and the world is vast. You're going to start in the meadows, and well, where you go from there becomes your path of discovery. In order to locate an altar where you can even find a boss, requires that you find special stones that have directions on them. And each of those is found buried randomly in more dangerous areas of the world. The world generator of Valheim is very much a work in progress, as there's a number of unfinished biomes, and potentially bosses. So I don't do spoilers in Let's Be Frank videos, but I'll say this: not all worlds are generated equally fair. You may end up having to embark on a very real, very dangerous and lengthy voyage to attain your goals. You aren't going to be having a nomad type of experience. A limited inventory encourages you to build a little home and keep your things, repair your gear, and safely wait out the night. For many people, the building system is actually one of the most revered features of this game. It actually uses physics calculations to determine how supported a structure is. This limits your building options based on your material type, support, as well as what it's attached to. This forces you into building more realistic structures and to be more mindful to do things like actually support the roof, for example. As you can imagine, this means damage to a building's support beams can be cataclysmic. This concept subtly encourages you to build up safely and more defensively. You'll also need fire in your home to keep warm, and there's even systems interplaying here to make smoke fill the room fairly realistically, and that encourages you to place some windows so you don't die of asphyxiation. As it stands, there's a limited number of building components, but that doesn't stop you from turning some of the more basic shapes into complex ones. And as time goes on, more objects are added to the game. This Valheim building system really looks like an incredibly solid base to be built upon. Looping back around to the physics system, this one's actually a double-edged sword. Some of the best moments in this game are a result of simple physics. Falling trees can immediately kill players, animals, and even other trees, which in turn also turns those into instruments of death. Ships and rafts will interact with waves and wind in incredibly immersive ways. Storms toss you around, and you can ride your ship ashore if you like. On the other hand, the majority of bugs you can encounter and performance issues may also be the result of this system, at least for now, but it's still one of those things that make this experience both immersive and unique. As someone who has both gaming and programming experience, I somehow feel that this game was made with love. The areas of opportunity that exist here are mostly just obviously unfinished biomes, but there's such a level of precision and attention to detail packed into the forefront of this game, and so many hours of content found in what already exists. It's a really easy game to recommend based solely on value right now. Having said that, I do also want to bring up points of contention that some players take issue with, so you're better prepared. First, there are no plans for official mod support as of now, and there's likely going to be a longer development time. Iron Gate is a very small team. but it looks like they have a roadmap plan and an overwhelming initial success to help get them there. I also want to mention that no official mod support doesn't necessarily mean there won't be mods, just that they won't have tools embedded into the game to make them happen. The development team has also stated that the netcode doesn't allow for more players, so larger servers and giant PvP wars aren't really going to be a thing of the future. This game is designed to be played cooperatively. The time sink is worth mentioning. The majority of your time in this game is based collecting resources, and this is a time-consuming task by design. Not only is your inventory small, but metal ores, which ultimately become the key to real advancement, are designed not to fast travel along with you. If you don't have a lot of time to play games, plan to make slow progress, especially if you go solo. This design choice is loved by some, and others have found it a bit too much to handle. While it creates a level of artificial difficulty, in my experience it also promotes the idea of building more buildings and outposts, and more opportunity to make the world feel a little bit more like home. One last comparison I did also want to add apparently is inspired by Terraria. Your character is not directly attached to the world that they came from, so this opens up the possibility of moving a character from one world to another, being able to join up with friends and also have a world of your own to play in. For better or worse, your items and equipment actually travel with you. So this opens up the door to circumvent some of the laws of the Valheim universe if you really wanted to, but I would recommend playing as intended. It really helps you feel like you've earned your fortress. Once again, I appreciate you taking your time to spend it here with me today. Thanks for watching.